Buddy, about yourself, you talked about growing up here in Myrtle Beach.
I did. I graduated from Myrtle Beach High in 1959.
Is that right? You're dating yourself.
Seems like
there.
a century ago.
I know.
I know I don't look like it.
I know. No, that's right. You sure don't. You sure don't. And
Thank
of course,
Thank you. I didn't say that, so you
No.
can say that.
That's right. That's right. We got that out. 59. And of course, when you think about the experiences for you, and now your bride of so many years, and did y'all meet down here in Myrtle?
We really did. Believe it or not, we met upstairs in the pavilion in June of 1961. My side of the story is she asked me to dance. Her side of the story is, why would she need dance money? So we're never going to agree on that, but we've been married for 43 years.
Is that
this
right?
August, and have 2 children. They both fortunately live here. Our daughter is a nurse at Waccamaw Hospital in Myrtle's Inlet.
Is that right? Great.
And has our one beautiful grandbaby, Lily Gray.
Oh, yeah.
And it's life right now couldn't be any better.
That is tremendous, absolutely. And you guys have been here in the area continuously since. I mean, you surely left for a while. But...
Well, after graduation from Erskine College in '64, we got married. I joined the Air Force, and we were gone until 1992.
Okay.
And I retired with 26 years service in '92. And
wow.
Moved back to the beach and was very fortunate. I worked for PPM Cranes as an HR and safety director, and worked for Franz Mustard at the Sands Oceanfront.
Right.
As an HR director, and then this absolutely wonderful opportunity came along for me, and it was a perfect fit. Obviously, my Air Force career didn't hurt in my dealing with the Air Force,
right.
And I do have a master's in public administration, so
even better, sure.
And then, of course, being a base commander at my last 2 Air Force assignments, I understood management and the process, and all of that just fell right into place, and it just couldn't have been better.
Absolutely. And of course, the Redevelopment Authority was set up, and you had, for the board there, it was set up by appointment from the state, the county, and the city. Is that right?
Well, the Title 31, Chapter 12 allows the city to appoint 3, the county to appoint 3. Our legislative delegation appoints 2, and then the governor appoints 1.
Okay.
And the governor's appointment, of course, is Harold Stowe, and he has been a fantastic chairman.
He was the chairman from the beginning?
He has been the chairman since the
Is
very
that
beginning.
right?
We have 3 members that have been since the very beginning.
Who are those 3?
George Graham, an attorney from Conway, retired Air Force 4-star General Bob Reed, and Harold Stowe have been on the Redevelopment Authority since the very beginning.
That's a retired 4-star general.
Yes.
I don't think we need to get Bob Reed on Carolina People sometime.
He would love to be on here. He is a tremendous guy, and just what was interesting to me when I got into Mr. Clay Britton, Senior, helped me get to the right people just to get to talk to on this. And like the 3rd person I met was General Reed, who I worked for in the Pentagon when he was a 3-star.
Is that right?
I didn't even know he lived here.
Oh, yeah.
I knew he had retired
right.
from the Air Force, but I did not know he lived in Myrtle Beach until that interview.
How exciting. So, he has been here then for a good while.
He has been here since 92 or 3. I think he retired about that time.
Around the same time the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base was
just in
shutting
they
down
had
its
been
operation.
announced for closure.
Right.
We were, of course, on the 2nd list for closure, which was 1990, I believe. And the base closed in March of '93.
Right.
And the law that established us was enacted in July of '94, and I was hired in August of '95, and it's been a great trip.
Oh, yeah.
So
very
unbelievably exciting, challenging. It was very difficult finding ourselves sometimes between the City Council, the County Council,
Sure.
the Air Force, EPA, DHEC, Department of Defense, you name it. It was often tense, but
Yes.
I do have to tell everybody that the community and all of the entities in it worked real hard to use and put the base to use in the best interest of the community. That's why we have parks out there, ball fields, recreation opportunities, just a tremendous number of things to improve the quality of life for all our citizens.
Well, with this tremendous uptick of persons that'll be moving into the former Air Force Base, whether it is the existing Seagate Village, the expansion of the Market Common, the Lennar property, the Withers Preserve. We think about, for instance, Wilson Kane, the last service as a South Strand a representative on City Council. There hadn't been a South Strand representative in quite a while, but of course there'll truly be a need, and probably a good person elected from that area over time.
I hope the City Council and the city people will think about that when, with 4,500 approved residential units to be out there. If that's just 2 people per unit, that's 9,000 people.
Oh yeah, it's going to
that
totally
will be Myrtle Beach citizens will be paying Myrtle Beach property taxes and all.
That will almost take it up a good 50%. I mean, that's the permanent population's in the mid-20s, low 20s.
26, I think.
Is that right? Sure.
My memory. But add 9,000 voters to that, perhaps.
Wow. Yes.
It could become real important in the politics of Myrtle Beach.
Sure, very definitely. Well, that's something we'll have to highlight with Mayor Rhodes tomorrow.
I think it would be a good question to ask him.
Yeah, that's right. What's going to happen?
Has he thought about that?
I know he's excited about Market Common. I'm sure he'll mention that tomorrow.
Well, that. Speaking of the Market Common and the City Council, I think that the City Council deserves a tremendous amount of credit for being willing to take on the responsibility of establishing the Market Common. The law allows a tax increment finance plan, which means McCaffrey is spending well in excess of $100 million of private investment to create taxes that will pay for the $43 million of public infrastructure.
Okay.
And the city did a tremendous job, I would say, of protecting itself and ensuring that they cannot be hurt and the citizens of Myrtle Beach can't be hurt should something bad happen.
Right. Not that
they
would,
did a
sure.
Tremendous. It took a long time.
Yes.
It took probably a year longer than we all would have hoped it would take, but I think it was all done in good faith and with strong people on both sides.
Yes.
And of course, the final vote for it, as I recall, was 5-2.
Is that
the
right?
City Council.
But even for those lone dissenters there, it's still good that they were bringing up good questions, I'm sure.
And it was all done in good faith
on behalf of the city. Right. Absolutely. So kudos to whoever the existing 7 council persons were, 6 plus the mayor at that time, because I'm sure they really pushed it through for the right reasons.
It was, and it was not, it was, at the time all of that was going on, I saw myself as being on the fence.
Right.
I wasn't with McCaffrey and I wasn't with the city.
Cheerleader for both sides.
I told him I was with both sides because I desperately wanted to see this come to pass.
Yeah.
And it took a unbelievable amount of effort and hard work by Mike Chestnut and Susan Means and Chuck Martino and Render and the whole bunch of them really worked hard to do what they felt was best for the community. And I think right now they would tell you they're all happy with what's going on.
Oh yeah,
I think they will
gotta be thrilled.
Be much happier come April of 2008 when we have our...
Yes, let's talk about that. We just got a couple of minutes, buddy. The hat that you're wearing much of the rest of the week, project manager for the Market Common.
It is a tremendous opportunity for me to... Interestingly, I moved to the beach in 1954 as I started the 8th grade. My dad bought a motel down here, Smith Motor Court. They were just starting building the base in the summer of '54.
Wow.
So then I come back in '92 and I'm able to be a part of closing it down.
Yes.
And now I've got an opportunity to finish the rebuilding of it.
Wow.
Which I don't know what more you could want out of life.
I'm sure your dad's smiling down on you.
Well, Dad had a heart attack in Columbia in 1962 watching my brother play in the state Class A semifinals for basketball championship. Myrtle Beach under Coach Ernie Neal went undefeated that year, 26-0, and won the state Class A championship. But he had a heart attack in the field house at Columbia and died that evening. So,
I'm sorry.
But there's still many people here that say to me, I was there, I remember it.
Wow,
So it was nice. But, you know, the Market Common is going to be such a tremendous thing. And, of course, we've announced many of the shops and stores and restaurants, P.F. Chang, China Bistro.
Sure.
Piggly Wiggly goes to the Community Appearance Board today for their first conceptual presentation.
Great.
Tommy
Great.
Bahama.
You've got some tremendous ones. I know, and even some local operators, the fancy
Jack
steakhouse that'll be
is
there.
going to put a steakhouse
Absolutely.
and a pizza place out there.
We're going to have to get you back again, buddy, not only to talk about reminiscent of the excitement of the change there on the air base, but also about many of these new leases that'll be signed. I'm sorry we've run out of time.
Well, April 3rd, 2008 is right now is our target date for just a tremendous kickoff and grand opening out there.
Tremendous. We'll all be there to celebrate that. Thank
Greg,
you so much
thanks
for being
having
with us.
me this morning. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Buddy Styers coming up next. You know, we didn't get to hear Buddy talk about he and his wife Penny's love of the Shag, or about his past presidency of the Grand Strand Family YMCA or of the Myrtle Beach Rotary Club. But you got to hear him talk about 1954 and the construction of the Air Force Base then, and then the shutting down of the Air Force Base in 93, and then the beginning of the rebirth in 95, when in August of that year he took over as executive director of the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base Redevelopment Authority. Think of that. Think of all that progress that's happened in the last 12 years. That one roadway that goes from Ocean Boulevard out to the bypass, and the excitement of tremendous developers like McCaffrey Interest and the Withers Preserve Group and Lennar Homes and all the folks, David Douglas and others, that made Seagate Village a reality, as well as many of the small business owners that populated lots of the buildings and still live and work there every day. Think of those differences that have been made and the differences that will be made in years to come as 9,000 people overtake that area and make it their home. Buddy Styers, thanks for everything.